High noon here. So Mark Cuban kicked over a little bit of a hornet's nest here, Kerry. And he did it with 2 words. Actually, 3 words if you count the contraction. But he was asked, where's Russell Westbrook in his MVP discussion? And he said he's not, which is kind of a theme with the Mavs owner, who looks pretty good in this shot. Kind of tough, the hands shoved in the pockets, the clothes looking good, the hair's good. Anyway, Mark Cuban doesn't seem like he's a huge fan of Westbrook. Here's Michael Wilbon on those comments earlier today on Mike and Mike.
He wants to get under his skin. He wants to get under a competitor's skin. That's the easiest thing in the world. He knows, he thinks he can get under Russell Westbrook's skin, and so he tried it. And Mark thinks of himself as, he more than thinks of himself, he's a competitor. That's what he is. I mean, in the form of owner, yes. So he's trying to get under his skin.
Okay, he's trying. That according to our Mike Wilbon, front office insider Amin Al-Hassan joining us now. So any truth to that? Is that you think Mark Cuban is actually, there's a method to the madness? He's trying to get under Westbrook's skin?
Yo, I say this with the most love and affection possible.
Which means?
Mark Cuban is a magnificent troll. He's a magnificent troll. I love it. I love it, though. I think it's funny, and it brings entertainment to the game. And in this particular case, it's no coincidence he makes these comments on the night when they're about to play Russell Westbrook. So definitely there's a dig there. Again, this is a guy who wore number 46 at the All-Star Celebrity Game, right? Just basically taking digs at you-know-who over there in Washington, D.C. So this is Mark Cuban's M.O. This is what he does. And I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so let's talk about the real conversation right now. I was listening to you on NBA Countdown on ESPN Radio yesterday. There's always this debate over who should be the MVP. I think that LeBron always makes a case. I think we take him for granted, but he always makes a case. I'm sure he feels that way as well. But if you had to vote, who would you give it to?
My vote goes to Westbrook. I have to acknowledge and respect the degree of difficulty of what he's doing, which is average a triple-double for an entire year. If he finishes the year averaging a triple-double, Kerry, I don't know how you can say, yeah, that's all right, but look at what this guy's doing, because all the other guys are having great years. Harden, LeBron, Kawhi Leonard. They're having great years, but nothing that we've never seen before. What he's doing something that we've literally, most of us, some older people may remember seeing Oscar do it.
Okay, so wait. So Westbrook averaging, you say, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists.
Right.
Night in and night out.
Night in and night out. He doesn't miss games. He plays a considerable amount of minutes.
But do they have a choice? They don't have a choice, right?
They don't, but, I mean, and they're winning. But they don't have a choice. Of course, they have to play him, but is that his fault?
No.
Right?
No.
So should we hold that against him?
Okay, so if LeBron won MVP, would you be mad?
If Westbrook averaged a triple-double for the year, I would. If not, let's say, so his assists lately have been falling, so he's now at just about 10 and some change.
Yeah, you're talking about Westbrook.
Westbrook. If he falls, let's say he ends up averaging 32, 10, and 9.
Right.
Then I wouldn't have a problem with LeBron or Harden or even Kawhi Leonard.
Why?
Because it's all about the threshold. It's about the threshold that we haven't seen but one time.
Okay.
And that's why I'm giving him so much more credit above all the other great seasons we're seeing.
Okay, so we hear Harden, we hear LeBron's always in the conversation, Westbrook, but what about Kawhi?
No, yeah, Kawhi.
They're quiet, but it's disrespectful that he's not mentioned.
Absolutely, he should be mentioned. Again, if we take Westbrook's great feet out, let's say Westbrook does drop below 10 assists, and then he's just got a great season. Kawhi is definitely in that, because you're talking about a guy who not only is very efficient scoring, it's 26 points a game, shooting 48% from the field, better than 40% from three, but better than that, of all the MVP candidates, he's the only one who's elite defensively every single night.
Elite.
He is the best perimeter defender we have in the NBA.
Yeah. So
he's doing it on one end over there and then coming back and still having enough energy to guard at the highest level, taking the toughest assignments. You got to give him credit. And, again, his team is winning.
All right, so we're talking seeding. And I think that people have made the argument that, okay, so what if Oklahoma gets the 7th seed or the 8th seed or the 6th seed? That definitely means that they're definitely on the shoulders of Westbrook, and he should be the MVP. Would you agree with that?
Again, my Russ threshold is triple-double.
That's it.
If it's not triple-double, then the conversation's open to all those other guys.
All right, who's giving the challenge to the 1 seed if it's the Warriors?
Probably the Spurs.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love the Rockets. I love the way they play. I love how they're going all in on their style. but San Antonio is the better team.
Okay, overall.
Overall, they're the better team.
So Rockets and Spurs meet up, and you're not thinking twice about.
Come on, Kerry.
Because I need you to give me your opinion, so we can run this back. Rockets and Spurs. Who are you giving me?
Today I'm going.
Today, tomorrow.
Spurs. Tomorrow I'm going to give you a different answer.
So you're going Spurs and what?
Spurs in 6.
In 6?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look,
Today.
Okay.
Things change, Kerry.
Tonight is a preview of what'll happen because they play tonight. So can we have you back on tomorrow in case the Rockets blow out the Spurs and see what you say?
Will it be here or in Bristol?
It will be here, my friend,
then,
in
yeah.
Los Angeles. All right. Amin Al-Hassan, our NBA front office insider. Thank you for joining us on Coast to Coast. David, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Kerry, let's bring in our ESPN senior columnist, Howard Bryant, playing off Mark Cuban's comments here. Howard, what did you make of what he said when he's not even in the MVP discussion, Russell Westbrook?
Well, I thought it was just a shot. I thought it was kind of ridiculous, but I also understood it once again. Mark Cuban is a competitor, and Mark Cuban his team was playing Russell Westbrook's team that night, so it made perfect sense. But let's be honest here. There's no question that Russell Westbrook is one of the MVP candidates, so I'm not even sure how much of a news cycle he gets out of this, David. To me, the real question is this: what is your criteria for the MVP? Is it best player? Is it best season? Or is it most impactful to that team? And to me, Russell Westbrook is the most impactful player to his team, even though he's shooting 42% from the field, even though he's probably going to end up with the Thunder at a 7 seed, maybe a 6 seed at best. But without him, that team's not a playoff team at all. On the other hand, Kawhi Leonard is the best two-way player in the game during the regular season. And I think that if you're thinking about what an MVP is in terms of winning a championship, I think it's Kawhi Leonard. I think it's James Harden second, and I think it's Russell Westbrook third. But if your MVP is best player in the game, it's LeBron James, and it has been for 13 years.
Okay, so we got LeBron as the best player, Kawhi has had the best season, and Westbrook has been the most impactful, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it depends on what you think that criteria is. Like, for example, in baseball, we've had this conversation about, the Alex Rodriguezes of the world who have won the MVP when their team came in last place. I think it really does depend on what you think the criteria is for most valuable in a season.
Okay, Amin was just talking about the threshold. If he could average a triple-double, first guy since the Big O to do it, if he's over that threshold, it seems like it'd be very hard not to put him down as your MVP just because of the numbers, the milestone. Do you buy that?
Well, we love numbers. We love the numbers, and you love the milestone, and because of that, and by the way, if you really want to get technical, it didn't just happen once. Oscar Robertson, if you look at his numbers, he almost, I think, averaged a triple-double for almost 3 straight seasons. And so when you're looking at that from a historical standpoint, hasn't been done in 56 years, then absolutely, you can certainly see 55 years. You can certainly see that if you hit that number, then you get it. It's like hitting 60 home runs or 80 points in a game or something,
well,
obviously.
What
puts it over the top.
Baseball, when Ted Williams, last guy to hit 400 in 1941, and he lost the award to Joe DiMaggio that year.
Yeah, but DiMaggio had his own threshold. He had a 56-game hitting streak,
yes,
and his team won the World Series. So, once again, it all depends on what you think. To me, personally, I like Kawhi Leonard because I think that Kawhi Leonard is the best two-way player in the game, and I think that he's the guy, especially taking over for Tim Duncan in his first year as the real leader of that team. I think he has proven that he's the guy right now who can take the Spurs to their next chapter. Obviously, you can't discount what Russell Westbrook is doing, but Russell Westbrook's team is going to be a 7 seed, and the other teams are just better. So to me, MVP is which guy got my team closest to a championship.
So OKC's place in the standings is a bit of a drag on Westbrook's candidacy.
I think it hurts him, but once again, I'm a little conflicted on that too, because you're also thinking in terms of MVP. What is the Oklahoma City Thunder? What are their prospects without all the grind that Russell Westbrook has given them? Here's a guy, you want to talk about spoiled athletes and too much money. This guy is playing 1,000% every play, every night. What more can he do as a professional athlete? So once again, I don't really listen to Mark Cuban on that, but I also do look at the standings.
Yeah, actually, Mark Cuban did say that Russ Westbrook has the best motor in the game, despite the fact that he's not in it.
Name me a guy, I mean, he's Iverson. Name me a guy who plays harder every night. That's what we say we want, right? This guy is giving the fans 100% of what he's got every play.
Boundless energy, Russ Westbrook. It's amazing to watch him go. Howard Bryant chiming in today on SportsCenter Coast to Coast on Mark